Good evening, Major fans, and welcome to another edition of the Major Rundown. My name is James Hill, and I will be your host this evening. We have a great show lined up for you, including junior midfielder Kaleigh Redhead on her Millsap soccer team, as well as Savantae Stringfellow, a former Olympian and now assistant track and field coach here for the Majors, as well as Malte Schick, a senior leader for the Millsap's tennis team. But first, let's take a look at Millsap's athletics this past week, as they had an outstanding week. They've really gotten off to a strong start so far this season. Let's take a look back at this week's action. The Millsap's Majors traveled to LaGrange, Georgia for their first road game of the season against the LaGrange Panthers, and they went into Kaleigh Stadium and put a beat down on the Panthers, defeating them 54-7. Garrett Pinciotti was terrific, throwing for 4 touchdowns, while Mike Bartholomew added 2 touchdowns on the ground, including a 48-yard scamper to the end zone. Defensively, Zach Bell was excellent with 6 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and a blocked punt on the afternoon. The Majors now improved to 2-0 on the season. We move now to men's soccer. After suffering a loss to Delta State, the Majors took on the Huntington Hawks on Sunday afternoon and played an outstanding game, defeating them 4-0. 4 different Majors got in the scoring column, while 4 different Majors had assists on the afternoon. The Majors go to 1-2-1 on the season. Meanwhile, the women's volleyball team took 3 out of 4 in Tyler, Texas, with wins over Laterno, as well as East Texas Baptist, as well as the homestanding Texas Tyler Patriots. They improved to 6-1 this season. Meanwhile, the cross-country team, both the men and women, got underway this weekend as they competed in the Loyola Invitational. Jared Allen was terrific for the Majors as he led the way with a 6th place finish and was named Southern Athletic Association Player of the Week. And on the other side for the women, Sarah Sachs led the way with a 5th overall finish. And that brings us to our feature story on women's soccer. First-year head coach Amanda Pascal has her team playing exceptionally well as they improved to 2-1 on the season after they defeated Centenary on Sunday afternoon 2-0. A lot of that is thanks to her junior midfielder Kaleigh Redhead. Here she is in an interview conducted by field reporter Fraser Rowland.
Yeah.
Zasha, that's it. Zasha, don't forget that. Nice pass.
Well, I have to ask you this. Your last name's Redhead, and you have red hair.
Yeah.
Do all your friends joke about you with that?
Definitely. It's kind of shocking to people at first, but yeah, they tease me a lot.
Next. Oh my God. Come on, Raptor. There you go. Next, go.
2010 and 2011 academic all-SCAC. Are you going for it again this year?
Definitely. Academics are very important to me.
Well, how much more important is soccer?
They're pretty close, I'd say. They're two top things that I prioritize.
All right, so you scored 4 goals as a freshman, and you scored 2 last year. How many are you looking to score this year?
I mean, I definitely like to score as much as possible, but I'd like to think of myself as more playmaker, and I think I assist more than I score, and I'm okay with that role. So if I score, that's great, and I'm always looking to score, but I would say setting others up to score is more my forte.
So you like to give assists more than
right.
How about Kaleigh Redhead? What do you expect from her this season?
Kaleigh plays a slightly different role than Grace does, but all the same, very important. We're playing in a new system this year, playing a 4-5-1, but basically we got our 4 defensive players, we've got our 2 defensive center mids, and then we've got 3 going across, and then 1. Well, Kaleigh plays along with Dorothea as our defensive center mids, and you know, from that position, she's able to dictate, you know, pace of the game, the flow of the game, and really just kind of she can control the game there with Dorothea, the entire game, the entire field, and so she does it. She naturally does it. Her skill set makes it very easy for her to, you know, swing the ball out and switch us up or take the space given to her. So I just expect her to do more of the same. And provide. She's already got 1 assist, so tally up 10 or 12 of those, that'd be great.
Do you like defense or offense better? I know that's kind of a hard question with soccer, but...
Well, I play midfield, so I play both. I'd say I like offense more, but there are things that I like about defense as well. I like sticking into tackles and, you know, not letting anyone by me is a big thing.
Well, Coach Pascal was very complimentary of you. I think she expects a lot out of you this year. What do you expect out of yourself?
Just to be better than I was last year. I trained pretty hard over the summer, and I want to be better always, each game, each practice, do something I haven't done before. And so, you know, last year I was third team all SCAC, I think, and if I could do better than that, then I would be happy.
What's your favorite part about the game of soccer?
I think it's a really mental game, and I'm not sure people who don't play soccer always grasp that, but it's ever-changing, ever-flowing. There's so many factors, and it's fast, and it's physical, and those are what I like about the game.
Who's your favorite soccer player, man or woman?
I think right now I really enjoyed watching Kaleigh Lloyd on the U.S. Women's National Team in the Olympics. I thought she was such a strong presence, and she just created so much for her team that I really enjoyed watching her play.
So you came to Millsaps obviously to play soccer. Were you looking at any other schools, and what really made you decide to come to Millsaps?
I was looking at a couple other schools, but I think that Millsaps had such a strong academic focus, and that I knew that I could succeed in all areas here. And you know, it seemed like the best fit, and all the girls on the team were so welcoming, and when I visited they were so hospitable, and I think that really made the difference for me.
Now let's take a look at this week's Athletes of the Week. Our male athlete of the week is Zach Bell. Bell had a career day with 6 tackles, including 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and a blocked punt. He was also named the Southern Athletic Association's first Defensive Player of the Week. Now let's move to our Women's Player of the Week. Senior middle blocker Casey Laird. She was unbelievable with 82 kills and 196 total attacks in her first 2 weekends of action. She came through with 10 or more kills in 4 of the 7 matches she has played this season, including 17 kills on September 7th this past week against East Texas Baptist. Right now the Majors are sitting at 6-1, and she has been named to both all-tournament teams in the Millsaps Invitational as well as the UT Tyler Invitational. Casey Laird was also named this week's Southern Athletic Association Athlete of the Week. That is this week's Athletes of the Week. Coming up next, assistant track and field coach and former Olympian Savantae Stringfellow.
It's a new day in Jackson Television. We are Metro TV, serving Madison, Rankin, and Hinds counties with a local flavor. It's all about local people, local places, local events, local business, and local fun. You'll see your friends, your neighbors, and your family on Metro TV. Our goal is to showcase the positive aspects of life in the Jackson metro area, from Brandon and Pearl to Madison, Ridgeland, Flowood, Clinton, Raymond, and Jackson. We'll provide professional quality, informative, entertaining, and fun programming specifically serving the Tri-County metro area. So get to know us. We are Metro TV.
And welcome back to the Major Rundown. Savantae Stringfellow was a 4-time NCAA long jump champion at the University of Mississippi. He then went on to compete in the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games and now is an assistant track coach at Millsaps College. We sat down with Savantae in part 1 of our series featuring Olympians at Millsaps College.
2001 was when I actually won the USA Championship. and this is my national championship ring for that one. My last one at Ole Miss, they wanted to do a little bit more with it, so this one had a little bit bigger, a little extra hardware on it. So this is the one from 2001.
You go to Ole Miss. Just give us a little background at Ole Miss, what all events you competed in. You mentioned a 6-time All-American, and just give us a little intake on your college career.
Didn't start out as good as I wanted it to. First year, it was a little rocky. I actually thought about transferring. Remember having a conversation with my coach, and he challenged me to give it everything that I had, and I think it was something that he saw that I wasn't doing. He said, when I recruited you, you can be an All-American, you can be one of the best athletes here, and he challenged me. So that next year, he put more on my plate, and he challenged me to give more to the team, and that next year I did everything from long jump, high jump, ran some relays. That was the first year I was an All-American. I got third in NCs in the long jump. I was the SEC champion. And, I think that's when a light bulb went off where it told me, hey, if you go out and leave everything you have out here, you'll see the results. And not only has that translated into track and field, but, almost anything else I've ever done. 2001, also, as a professional athlete, that was my first year, obviously. And, a couple weeks later, I went to Edmonton for the World Championships. And this is the medal. First World Championships, World Championships, second place, huge honor.
Tell me how those experiences you got from Ole Miss, those challenges you faced, tell me how that translates into your coaching and what you're trying to teach the kids here at Millsaps.
I mean, the biggest thing that it's teaching me, that it's taught me, that I'm translating to the kids is, be honest to yourself. How much more can you give if you give that 110%? As a motto, I like to use 212 degrees, 211 degrees water boils, and just hot water. But you apply that one extra degree, just a little bit extra. That's 212 degrees, and 212 degrees is the difference between hot water, boiling water, the difference between steam, it's the difference between just being good and being great. And that's the thing I've challenged everyone, at our team meeting we had a couple of days ago. What are you leaving out there?
Tell me a little bit, as you mentioned, you competed in the 2000 Olympics in Sydney. Tell us leading up to that, the training you went through, the U.S. trials, just everything leading up to that moment at the 2000 Olympics.
Truth be told, this was the year after I won my first national championship at Ole Miss, and the last thing I thought about. Okay, yes, an Olympic year. There are a bunch of other long jumpers that are a lot better. I'm happy to be going to the trials. I remember talking to my mom about that, and I was telling them I get to go to the Olympic trials, and But one thing my coach did was, instead of looking at it as just to be happy to go into the Olympic trials and get all the fanfare and glory from that, forget that. Let's train and let's do everything we did as if it's a dual meet, at Mississippi State. Let's go in and still put in the hard work. Obviously, we fine-tuned some things. We, looked at some of our strengths and weaknesses and fine-tuned those. But he never let that become a big deal. And, at the competition, I was, like I said, it was so easy because I didn't expect it. Yeah. This was not something where, I had the pressure of, I'm going to be on the Olympic team. I was a junior in college. Right. I wasn't supposed to be there. So, I think that made it easy. That made it, relaxing. And, I went out there and had fun. If anyone has ever saw me compete, if you see me, around campus or anything, I'm going to have a smile on my face, and, I like to have fun. And that's how I took that. So, end of the day, I'm like, oh crap, did I just, what just happened? And, I went from there. That was the first time after that I left the country to go anywhere. Right. I got to hang out in Australia for a month and a half, and it was overwhelming. Next medal we kind of go to is 2004. This is I guess you can say my baby. This is my gold medal at the World Championships in Budapest. This was special for me because this was something that it got the monkey off my back. I won a silver medal. I won, the things in college, but, just to have a gold medal at the World Championships and just to be able to call myself a world champion, this one stands out probably more than anything that I've done. It kind of sums up a lot of things that have signified me in my career, having fun and doing it the right way.
Go back to the 2000 Olympics. Just if you can take one memory away from the Olympian, you may have just said it earlier with the opening ceremonies, but just give me one memory that you take away from the 2000 Olympics that you'll just forever remember for your entire life.
My parents actually got a chance to go. And, my mom, she worked forever. And if you told her probably 6 months before that you would be in Australia, she would have, never really believed it. And just to give her that opportunity to be able to go to another side of the world, another side of something that she hadn't seen before, to see that and experience that, hands down. My stepdad, huge baseball fan, met Tommy Lasorda. We still have that picture, at the house. That's the kind of stuff that I like, just putting smiles on other people's faces, having them get that fulfillment. And one of the reasons I'm in front of you now is being able to do that at Millsaps. Just seeing these kids and knowing the love that I have for it. And if I can go give that to somebody else, that's all I can ask for.
It's a new day in Jackson Television. We are Metro TV, serving Madison, Rankin, and Hinds counties with a local flavor. It's all about local people, local places, local events, local business, and local fun. You'll see your friends, your neighbors, and your family on Metro TV. Our goal is to showcase the positive aspects of life in the Jackson metro area, from Brandon and Pearl to Madison, Ridgeland, Flowood, Clinton, Raymond, and Jackson. We'll provide professional quality, informative, entertaining, and fun programming specifically serving the Tri-County metro area. So get to know us. We are Metro TV.
Malte Schick comes into the 2012-13 season as one of the senior leaders of the Millsaps men's tennis program. The Major Rundown reporter Hugo Cordova was able to catch up with Malte in this feature story.
If you ever stop by to check out the men's tennis team here at Millsaps, don't be surprised if you hear a little bit of German being shouted. That's just the captain, Malte Schick, who comes to us from Germany and hopes to lead the team into a victorious season this year.
I'm from Hamburg, Germany.
What's it like over there?
Well, it's quite different. The weather. It's much colder, and mixed weather over there. We have a lot of rain during the year. Nothing like Mississippi, where it's humid and above the hundreds pretty much every summer.
What brings you to such a contrasting place like Mississippi?
Well, I did a foreign exchange here in 2006, and I picked two states that I'd like to land in, and it was actually Florida and California. That's like the biggest two states you hear about when you're in Germany. So I signed up for that exchange program, and I randomly landed in Monroe, Louisiana, which is 2 hours away from here. I had a great time. My host family is probably the best host family you could imagine. It's unbelievable, my relationship I have with them. We still meet up regularly, go to vacation together, and well, since I enjoyed it so much in Louisiana, I kind of wanted to come back to the South just because of all the nice things they have down here. So after I went back to Germany and finished high school there, I decided to I wanted to play tennis for an American college, and so I visited Millsaps actually during some October in 2009. I really liked the small community, and that's how I landed here.
How'd you hear about Millsaps?
Well, Since I did that foreign exchange here in 2006 in Monroe, a few guys and girls actually went here. So they were actually 2 classes above me and told me how enjoyable Millsaps is and how great that the education is. And since I'm a business major with a finance concentration, I really enjoyed the visit, and the business program really did it to me.
How long have you been playing tennis?
Well, I've started playing tennis when I was 8 or 9 years old, I think. I played much more soccer than tennis. But I guess I couldn't do both, so I decided to play tennis here, and I really enjoy it.
How do you like the tennis format here at Millsaps as opposed to in your home country?
Well, you see, the first thing about American college is that they have college sports. They don't have that in Germany. So that was a really new experience for me, I would say, that you know, it's all that supporting, that cheering for each other, that going out to football games, baseball games, and support your classmates and, you know, the people that represent Millsaps. So that was a very new experience for me, and I love it. You know, it's a great thing. I think that you can support each other, that you got each other's back. It's a neat thing.
How does a team like the Millsaps tennis team enhance your stay here at Millsaps?
Well, you know, we have our new coach, Coach Box, has given us a few bracelets. You know, it says, one of them says, "One passion, one team, one journey," and the other one says, "Actually take the moment." You know, it's gotten a family for me. It's, you know, all 6 or 7 guys on the team is really close, good friends. You know, Adam Tilley is probably one of my best friends here at Millsaps. He's actually also my roommate. We're having a great time, and it's just, you know, they just embrace it, and we just have a great time.
What motivates you to be the best?
Well, you know, I just strive for perfection. I wouldn't say necessarily perfection, but it's just, I just love to be the best. And either if it's playing cards with Adam Tilley in my room, you know, we always fight about who wins. And, you know, it doesn't really matter if it's in the classroom. I always strive to make A's. And, you know, I guess that's a personality trait of mine, that I'm a really competitive guy, and that's how it is.
Is that a common mindset among your teammates?
It is. We all are very competitive. You know, our coach always says that we might not be the best players with the best skills, but we are the most competitive, the most fittest, the fittest team in our conference, and I think that describes the team pretty well.
I think with Malte, the level of intensity that he brings to our practices and our matches, it's easy to be intense at matches, but in practice, to expect a lot out of your teammates, to kind of lead by example. His goal is to always be first in sprints, to be the best player out there every day in practice. He doesn't want to have anybody on the team kind of take his #1 spot, and you know, that's what you need from a leader and from a #1 player.
Do you see the other team members embracing his role as leader?
Absolutely. Sometimes that can, if someone is in your face a little bit about working hard, that can turn players off. But usually with Malte, the fact that he's working just as hard as what he expects out of his teammates, I think, is very much a lead by example. Even though he's talking the talk, he's also walking the walk, and that's what players respect. And I think our young guys can see how the effort that he puts in, and they know that if they want to be #1 on the team, if they want to be one of the better players in the region, then they've got to kind of be the same way when they get out on court, and work and practice the same way that he does.
Coach Box is really young. You know, he's I don't know, 26, 27, somewhere around that, and you know, he knows how it is to be a college student. So the things he tells us, and you know, the improvements, you know, our talks, they just really build upon that. You know, that he understands how we think. You know, he understands our schedule, that we're very busy. You know, we have other social stuff going on. You know, all that impacts you a lot as a tennis player. So, you know, with that understanding, he just gives the best advice, and he's also just a really cool guy to hang out with. So it's been a lot of fun.
Can you describe your role on the tennis team?
Well, I'm a senior. I'm also the captain of the team, and I play #1 for Millsaps. I started right off when I came here as a freshman. I started playing as #1 seed, and it was a lot of pressure in the beginning. You know, especially as a freshman, I didn't know what to expect. You know, I didn't really speak English that well. It was kind of confusing in the beginning. But now that I'm a senior, you know, I love leading the team, You know, I had great victories last semester or last year against Swanee and Birmingham Southern. That were huge victories for me that I really enjoyed, and you know, I just kind of built up on that. You know, I'd like to lead the team, be the guy that motivates them, that you know, gets the team together and just do well.
Who's your favorite tennis player right now?
It's kind of hard. I've always been kind of a Nadal guy, but you know, I just love the way he plays. He's really competitive. He's very powerful. He's, I guess, pretty much the opposite of Federer, who's more like the elegant player, who's a little more touch maybe. But you know, I just really enjoy seeing good matches, especially on TV. Now the US Open are on, and I just love seeing great battles. But I'd say overall it's probably Nadal.
Who are you rooting for in this year's US Open?
Man, that's a tough question. I've been really impressed by by Andy Murray. He's been playing very well. I think he won the Olympics. He beat Federer in the final. So I'm expecting a lot from him. I think it's going to be him and Djokovic in the final. You know, I'd be happy for Murray to win it because he hasn't won big tournaments yet. So that will be, I think, a good thing for his development as well.
It's a big serve, Malte.
It's a new day in Jackson Television. We are Metro TV, serving Madison, Rankin, and Hinds counties with a local flavor. It's all about local people, local places, local events, local business, and local fun. You'll see your friends, your neighbors, and your family on Metro TV. Our goal is to showcase the positive aspects of life in the Jackson metro area, from Brandon and Pearl to Madison, Ridgeland, Flowood, Clinton, Raymond, and Jackson. We'll provide professional quality, informative, entertaining, and fun programming specifically serving the Tri-County metro area. So get to know us. We are Metro TV.
And welcome back to the Major Rundown. Let's take a look at this week in Major Athletics. On Wednesday, September 12th, the Millsaps women's volleyball team will open the Southern Athletic Association season up versus the Birmingham Southern Panthers. This is the first SAA program on Millsaps' campus, and it's set to start at 7 p.m. Then the volleyball team is back in action on Friday the 14th as they will travel to Hendrix College to take on the Warriors at 7 p.m. And then they're right back at it on the 15th as they'll travel to Rhodes for a match at 11 a.m., followed by a match at 1 p.m. against Maryville in Memphis. The football team is set to do battle with Point University, and that is set to begin at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. The women's soccer team will travel to Austin College in Sherman, Texas to take on the Roos at 12 p.m., while the men's team will be at the University of Dallas for an 11 a.m. kickoff. And on Sunday the 16th, the women's soccer team will take on the University of Dallas at 12 p.m., while the men's team will do battle with the Centenary Gents at 4 p.m. in Shreveport. That's this week in Millsaps Athletics. Fans, we hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure and catch us every Wednesday and Thursday on Metro TV, Channel 17 at 8 p.m. We hope you'll join us again next week for another edition of the Major Rundown.